Another Wednesday night roundtable with the crew.
How we doing?
The crew -1. Anthony's going to be joining us shortly, but we got Lauren in Reading, PA. I'm in Glen Mills, PA, and Johnny's holding the store together in Havertown, PA.
Yep.
So we're represented.
Oh yeah.
So
We got the triangle covered.
Joe Stinger continues his being number one all the time. Welcome, Joe Stinger. How's everything in Browns? I always screw it up. Brownsville, Florida.
Sure. Just say Florida. It's simpler.
Yeah, I should, but I like to. I think it's Brooksville. It's Brooksville. Thank you, Sue.
Wow. You had to be right.
The lady who had the stroke.
There was a B and an R that were right, I think, and an S, but that's not it.
It's all good. Welcome, everybody. Lot to talk about, lot to go over, lot to dissect.
Oh, yeah.
So let's dig in. Let's get started. I want, when Anthony joins us, because he's at the end of the season with his Reading Fighting Phils. So I just wanted him to recap, and then Lauren, I want to give you plenty of time to go over the art show coming up October 12th.
Okay.
So we got a big show. So Johnny, if you're going to give me the same names and everything again, there's no sense in doing it.
Yeah, well, fantasy baseball, it's kind of as the polls would say, we're kind of almost throwing up the victory flag right at the moment.
Wow.
Is she still in first place?
She's still in first place, and she gained her lead.
Let you in the house at night, or just the dog?
No, she just lets me in the house to make sure that she can say, "Am I winning still?" Yeah, you're still winning. Her point lead gained again, 86 points. She's up. She's got the lead by.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's kicking ass and taking names, but it's not. It hasn't been fun. That's for sure. And Mom, yes, I'm only joking, because we went out to breakfast and she's like, "Why do you keep saying that it's bad when Jen's winning?" I'm like, "Just because it is. You gotta live with it." But yeah, we had.
Should we let Reds know that this is a Philly sports page and only Phillies fans are welcome?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's back on the bandwagon because they've been winning a few games. He stopped.
Oh, he's got his ankles and his ass all taped up.
Yeah. He left the Eagles game early too, so it's partly his fault for why they lost on. It was his fault. He was a front runner there. He had to get out. He had to get out to beat traffic, but it's all good. But the fantasy football is going well. We've got a lot of shaking and going there. So Tyler's live at the top of the leaderboard hasn't lasted too long. He quite quickly dropped from first to 35th real quick. So
how's he enjoying that?
Oh, he's not happy. He's not happy. But we've had a few people jumped up. Carol on there, obviously you see on second, and Randy, her son, has jumped up to third. Michael McCullough, he jumped up to first. He was on the leaderboard last week as well. Rob Ozick there, he said this was going to be easy. He'd be in first place all year long. He's at least made the leaderboard right at the moment, but he's finding out that it's not as easy as he thinks it is.
A lot of trash talking, huh?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of talking going on.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, and I never remember what happened to our Vegas buddy.
He's there for the football or for the baseball one, but he's getting his ass kicked in that, so he's quiet. And
what name does he go under these days?
I think it's still Philly. I think it's still Philly Stott.
Okay. Because I know there for a while he was breaking bread with us like daily.
Oh yeah, but he's a finicky one. He's a finicky one. Now that he's out in Vegas, he's big time now.
You don't have time for us?
No, he doesn't have time for us.
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh no, but and plus he wasn't doing so well in the sports, in the fantasy sports, so he doesn't. He thought he was better than that, and he got humble pie eating. He's got to be eaten.
I
So
hope he's better with the book.
I hope. Let's hope so. It can't be any worse. It can't be any worse. That's for sure. I would hope. But and then we just finished up today the spreadsheet for the fantasy hockey. So we'll be doing that pretty
Oh,
soon.
no.
Look at that. So we got that going. We got the spreadsheet and it's all good. We got all the formulas tapped into the thing. So now it's just ready to plug and chug from the rest of the season. So
what a better day to make that announcement. It was media day down in Voorhees.
exactly.
Camp
It was perfect
opens.
timing.
Flyers
perfect
camp
timing.
is open.
Yep. So we'll be getting our Michkov names and all these other Russian names and every other name that we can't pronounce. But
Great.
you have to
We're
you have to
just
do
gonna
some
go with-
studying.
We're just going with Mitch, John.
Yeah.
We're just going with Mitch.
But for all the names on the list that I have for the different positions, it's
All right.
it's going to be interesting to do some research on those.
All right.
So yeah, that'll be looking forward to that because that's going to bring in a whole different crowd of people coming into the page here, looking for fantasy hockey and what the hell? It's winter time going to be going on. What else is better to do than
What else do we have to do?
exactly?
Very cool.
Baseball's finishing up, so we'll be going 24/7, 365 days with fantasy sports.
You've got Phillies baseball, right?
Yeah.
Things are about to explode, right? It's
Oh, yeah.
Red October, like right around the corner. What is this going to be? And I don't want to speak out loud and jinx anything, but this could be our first National League East title since 2011.
Yep.
Wow. It's been that long, huh?
Yep. 13 years. Yep. Yeah. It's we can clinch a playoff spot tonight with the win.
And the Brewers have already clinched, so they don't even care. They probably won't even show up tonight, right?
Right. I mean, they could still be hammered. They'll be seeing three baseballs coming up at them with the champagne in their eyes and everything. So, that'll be a good night tonight to celebrate that. Hopefully, get that done, and then going out to New York this weekend, and hopefully clinch up the NL East title out there in New York. No better spot to do that in front of the Mets fans to knock them out for the division title. So a lot of good things going on this week.
A lot of good
on
things.
some sports, a lot of good things.
Well, you know what? We've been talking an awful lot about it, but I mean, it's a good time of year, regardless, wins
Right.
and losses. You want as many wins as you possibly can get, but the Phillies have been really good to us all year. We have nothing to complain about.
No,
Some sore ankles, some sore asses, but it's 162 games, right?
yep,
No different than the Eagles, right? We got a long season ahead. We gotta clean some stuff up, and I feel pretty confident that we get a couple of guys back. I didn't realize that Sidney Brown's gonna be due back. That should help us out in the secondary a little bit. They're predicting that Cooper DeJean is going to be a starter within the next couple of weeks. And they maybe need to shake some things up on that defense and, just run some guys out there that maybe aren't getting, a chance. So, we'll see. We'll see. Got a big test Sunday, but, we got time for all of this. We'll dissect it all. But we got Flyers hockey getting ready to go, baby.
yeah,
Sticks and pucks.
oh yeah.
Sticks and pucks. And hey, how about the news that broke today about the 76ers? The mayor's all on board, keeping the team in Philadelphia. Great news. It's not what I wanted because I wanted them to stay at the Wells Fargo Center and work out their issues with Comcast Spectacor. But I guess we're well past that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. What's
You
that,
know,
Lauren?
It sounds like they're way past that.
Yeah. But it looks like, they could be going to the original spot in downtown Philly. At least that's what I'm hearing. So,
Mhm.
we'll see. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
pretty.
It'd be nice to keep them in that area. I would have liked to have seen maybe at FDR Park there.
They're dumping a lot of money in there right now on some other things, and
Right, as you were saying.
I just, I just didn't know that was ever. I mean, that'd have been it would have been cool, I guess, being across from the practice facility of NovaCare, and
Right, it just keeps everything together. That's
yeah, I mean, it would have been cool, but there is no damn parking down there to begin with.
all. Right, yeah. Especially with what the Flyers and the Phillies want to do with that area next to Xfinity and
Are they ever going to get that off the ground, though? I mean,
yeah, true.
It just, I mean, talk. We've been talking about it since, Xfinity Live was opened up.
True.
So, but anyway, let's jump into our first place Phillies. They hold 2 games on the Dodgers.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is real nice for being number 1 throughout the playoffs and home field advantage.
Exactly.
What's everybody's thoughts? I mean, Lauren, we missed you last week.
No, you didn't.
we did, but we were able to throw out the fantasy hockey last week.
John,
so that's when that got approved.
we voted on it, and everybody on the page said we got to do it.
And you had to be there to vote.
I doubt that's what happened.
You had to be there to vote.
Yeah,
Go back and watch the show.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have it in me for another fantasy. I can't keep up. Anywho, I was not in this last show, but I appreciate that. What am I most excited about for the Phillies, or what am I looking forward to?
Either or.
Okay.
Or all.
I mean, Red October. I'm most excited for that. Hold on. I got my he's here finally.
There he is, the hardest working man in America.
That's right.
How are you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, Red October. That's what I'm most excited for. It's a blast down there at the stadium. It's at a whole nother level. So I want them to finish out the season strong, but that can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying that since, like July, the middle of July, the early July. Yeah. We've been antsy for I know I have been, you know what I mean? And I was, none too happy when they dipped down to, 5 in the win column and whatnot. But yeah, there's nothing like Red October in Philadelphia.
No, and I feel like that's more recent. I don't know about you guys, but it seems so elevated than it has in previous years. So, but yeah, I'm excited for it. And I haven't read all of, Red's comments there, but we talked about this before. They have to win this year.
That's pretty much what he said. World Series or bust.
Right.
But talking about the sellout crowds that they've been getting down there, because there's a lot of things going on, right? You got to get in your seat early because, you may miss a Schwarbaum, right out of the gate, with a league leading 14 leadoff home runs. Do I have that right, Mr. Analytics?
Yep. Leads the league's record, major league record.
So there's just so much going on down there. There's activities for the kids, and nobody does it better. I really believe this than the Phillies alumni weekend and all the all the giveaways that they have, and nobody does it better. And you know what? And you know what? I'm going to give him his flowers because it starts in the minor leagues. You know what I mean? Because they do such a good job, down in AA, AAA. they just do a phenomenal job. And I don't know whether you guys have been paying attention, but the minors have been getting a lot of kudos lately because guys are moving quicker, through the system, coming up. I mean, you look at 2 or 3 of the guys that have kind of filled in real nice from AAA, and it's just been a lot of fun. So, we gotta keep it going. We gotta get in that lockdown mode, I guess, so that we can, that number 1 spot is coveted. Everybody wants it. So I guess it's pretty much down to what, 2 teams, right, John?
Basically, yeah, it's between the Phillies and the Dodgers, and they basically got a 3-game lead with them since they had the tiebreaker.
Right.
So I mean, it's we're only down to 10, 11 games left in the season, so it's a good spot to be right at the moment. Again, it's just going to come back down to that number 1 seed scares me. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a bad way for me. It's kind of backwards thinking, like as being a player that liked competitive sports. You always want that number 1 spot, right? But it hasn't shown to be the best spot to be in baseball the past couple of years. The way the playoffs are set up, having that bye going into you're taking off after and almost having a week off. You're just off a tick, and we've seen it coming out of the All-Star break. This team gets into a little bit of a funk, and
Hey, John, I just want to stop you a second because I got a chance to read Red's comment, and nobody said that we were happy with the National League East. There, big guy.
Right. He just reads it. He just hears what he wants to hear.
You know what I mean? So if you want to get booted from the page, we can do that. So nobody's happy with just the National League title. So
no.
we want it all. That's what Philly fans are all about. But like Sean said, Phillies fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knew?
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things. We've talked about it all the time. Like we were tough on on the Phillies earlier in about a month ago, and it's you see both sides and you just want them to do the best. But like I said, it's just.
Well, let's move on a little bit because there's so much to cover. 1 through 9 because you pretty much know your lineup's in place if everybody's healthy. Who it's going to be, and then it's a matter of who's playing center, who's playing left,
right,
and who your starting pitcher is going to be. So, and there's talk now that Austin Hayes is going to be back by the weekend.
That's what they're hoping to meet him up in New York.
So you're going to have, an issue with who the extra couple guys are going to be. Right. So, and everybody seems to be. I don't know. Harper seems to be hitting the ball a little bit harder, a little bit further. So maybe, that elbow and arm is getting a little more healthy.
Right. That's what it's been nice to see. He's had 3 home runs now in the past, week. So yeah, it's nice to see because like you said, that the team rides with him. He gets the team motivated a little bit there and the excitement with him hitting the home run. Same as Schwarber with the leadoff home runs there. I mean, this team's built for the playoffs. The way that they have the veteran hitters, just a matter of, and the pitching. I mean, you look at the pitching. The Rangers a little bit a suspect right at the moment, but
we're spoiled with Wheeler, right?
Right. Yeah.
We're spoiled with him. Nola's had a couple of, not so good games the last 2 outings.
Yeah, a couple spotty spots. Yeah.
We could use him to get back on track tonight. Ranger, I don't know. Ricky Bo seems to think he's lost some velocity, and that has a big,
he hasn't been the same since his injury.
Exactly.
That's right. Good point.
Yeah, he hasn't been the same since then. But yeah, I mean, Nola having a big outing tonight would be a real boost to not only his confidence, but I think just the confidence of the team, because I don't like all the, the negativity around Nola. It's very much a, what have you done for me lately league. But before Wheeler came along, Nola was our guy and did a lot for this team and continues to do. But
why they re-signed him, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, when he underperforms, we're just so quick to, get on him for that. So I'm hoping that tonight is a good night for that. And I got to agree with Joe Stinger on this one. I don't know what fans he's talking to, where majority of them are okay with the NL East or the best record. Those aren't normal Phillies fans.
No.
So I don't know what conversations he's having or who he's talking to, but no Phillies fan that I know or even communicate with have been, oh, well, as long as we have the best record, or, oh, well, as long as we win the NL East. Bullshit. There's no Phillies fan out there saying that.
Ever since he moved and went across the bridge, he hasn't been the same. So
He's lost his mind.
It's that Jersey water.
Lost his mind. But I can guarantee you, if there's a parade, they're on Brook Street with a cooler full of beers.
He'll be picking you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, he's the biggest front runner. He's that guy in Major League movie out there in the outfield. These guys stinking, and they're going to the World Series, with the Major League movie. But yeah, it's
get out of here.
It's definitely definitely a good feeling, going into it. Aaron Nola, like you said tonight, has the chance to clinch the playoff spot. He did that last year in Houston, got them, was on the field.
Good point.
Pitching, going and clinched that. So, we know that both him and Wheeler step up in the playoffs. We got Christopher Sanchez as well. That's going to, be that guy as well. If Ranger has to step back for a little bit to get a little healthier, because like you said, ever since his injury, he hasn't been throwing as hard. And not that he threw overly dominant to begin with, but that little bit that fell off of where he's at hurts.
That could be the only positive to clinching the number 1 seed would be, it does kind of give everybody that week or so to regroup, and any nagging injuries to really kind of give them a week off. But I hear what you're saying, John. They do seem to struggle when they have any time off.
Right.
Yeah. That makes you nervous. But at the same time, it's completely different. I mean, coming back from London or coming back from the All-Star break isn't playoff baseball.
Right. No, it's true.
It didn't treat them well either.
Right. So I mean, it's also a different thing with the Dodgers and the Braves also had injuries, that were hurting their team having the week off, that time off as well. So, like I said, it's just a thing to think about, and hopefully it doesn't come to fruition. That it hurts the Phillies this year, having that
Well,
bye.
John, let me ask you this. We'll pull this apart a little bit if we can. With the team being where they are right now, right? Guys are getting healthy. Position players are starting to figure things out again. It's been a while since the All-Star break, but the bullpen. In my eyes, this is probably the best bullpen we've had in a really long time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we had Todd Zalecki was in here, and he was saying, he talks to the other players in the league, and they're afraid of the Eagles or the Phillies bullpen. When they're all on, they're the best bullpen in baseball coming out.
Yep.
You got 4 guys throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
Coming out of the bullpen. So I mean, you can have a six inning game by your starters, 5-6 innings, and then you throw those 4 guys out there, and it's matching them up and setting them down.
Well, who are the 4, John? I'm curious to hear who the 4 are in your playbook.
Well, in no order. I mean, you got Hoffman, who's stepping up and doing a little bit more.
All-star.
Yeah, all-star. You got Estevez. You got Matt Strom.
All-star.
You got Alvarado.
He seems to have straightened things out.
He's figured things out as well. And who else we got there? Am I missing one? Hoffman.
1, 2, 3. Well, there's been a sequence of 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, I mean Garcia's been
Kirkering.
Yeah, Kirkering as well. That was the
other guy.
So yeah, I mean you got the 5 guys there, that's coming out, and
okay.
So yeah, I mean I think like I said, Dave Dombrowski set this team up, for the playoffs. Just a matter of they're going to have to hit, and
home field advantage, baby.
Right. Oh yeah.
Home field advantage. Red October in South Philly. Nothing better.
Oh no, absolutely. No, it definitely goes away, and yeah, I don't know if you put him out of the bullpen there, Shawnee Ranger or not. Maybe, if he's going to be the 4 starter, maybe, because I think they're going to if they're able to set up the thing and having the home field advantage, they'll probably try to have Christopher Sanchez as the second pitcher behind Wheeler, just so because he pitches a lot better at home, and then have Noel to be on the road, for in the 3 spot.
All right.
So yeah, I think it should be good because then you have Noel and then Wheeler, for your 4, the swing back around for earlier series.
Well, hopefully a win tonight, and we take care of part A of this equation, and then we move into taking care of the Mets this weekend and getting that home field advantage.
Exactly. And the other good thing I like the way the schedule's working out. You got all these almost playoff type games you're playing here down the end. You had the Mets last series, you had the Brewers now, and then you're playing the Mets again. So you're still, even though you have the division basically wiped out, sealed up already, but you're playing competitive, games.
Sure.
Where other teams have had the Braves have had the division locked up, in a month. Last year it was like a month they had it locked up basically, and so they weren't playing as competitive. They were able to take some days off or whatever. So, I think that's a good thing as well. So,
no, Reds, you continue to bring nothing to the show. We're not bringing Kimbrel back. Stop.
No.
Stop.
Where's he going to be? Like he's not even. Connor.
He's
just loves to cause trouble.
That's all. He like I said, since he crossed the bridge, he's not the same person.
I think he's off his meds today.
He probably is. All right. We've reached the 7 o'clock hour. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I wanted to talk a little bit about the R-Phils. I know personally, company-wise, the CCC brand had a great year out in Baseball Town. Anthony, can you concur that you guys had a pretty fulfilling season?
Yeah, I forget what the total amount was, but they announced yesterday or today we had the second highest in AA baseball in the country,
right,
which is no small feat when you think of it. I mean, some of those markets are much, much bigger than Reading, Pennsylvania. I mean, you got teams like Richmond, Virginia, Akron, Ohio, Portland, Maine. I mean, there's a lot of really big cities there. So it's nice to see. It's a lot of work to pull that off. I don't think people understand it. I mean, it's 70 different events to pull it off over the course of the season. So it was really nice to see everything work and the place full. We got lucky with as far as the weather this year goes. We didn't have too much bad weather, only a couple rainouts, and in July there's a couple hot days, but that's what happens in July. But overall it was very good. The players seemed to really enjoy their new digs there, and
beautiful facility. Beautiful.
Yeah, the away team should be able to move in their side for next year. So I think at this point it's just getting everything fully where it needs to be. I think we're almost there, but it's a new facility, so we got to make sure we can cross out anything that's not that totally done. But I imagine in the next couple of weeks we should be raring to go, and we've already had a bunch of events in the event center. I think today and yesterday there was a group from Penske and other groups that have booked the entire top floor and the bottom floor. They probably had 1,000+ people there over the last couple of days for meetings and stuff like that. So it's all good. It's all good stuff getting business to the county. So it was a really good year.
So last Thursday, they had their dinner on the field for Baseball Town Charities. And that was the first time I had been in the building and got to see the completed batting tunnel, Dad, which I sent you a picture of.
Beautiful.
And then the visiting clubhouse. I have to say, I think the visiting clubhouse has a better view of the field than the home clubhouse.
The visiting clubhouse is going to give players a better visiting clubhouse than their home clubhouses. It's beautiful. I mean, it's upstairs. It's you're not going to beat it. It's absolutely beautiful. So,
and the batting tunnel, Screppy, who is the guy who handles a lot of the player specific stuff, was telling me that the batting tunnel here is better than the one in Philly, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, theirs is really tight. We have a lot more room to spread out.
It's tight. I mean, and obviously the stadium is older. This is a brand new, facility.
Yep.
But it's just crazy, sort of like how that'll fluctuate for guys as they go through the different levels. But I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I know the batting tunnels are one of the last things. Is there any other construction going on this off season that to look
No, I mean, they might do some upgrades to a left field side as far as like I guess the dugouts might get expanded a little bit because there's some older dugouts there. I don't know if that's 100% happening. I know they have to extend the netting down the entire left field side. Major League Baseball would like that, but nothing super major. I know the last week of the season, the pitchers were allowed to move in the bullpens, which are behind the video board now.
Right.
That gives them easy access to walk in their locker rooms or easy access to walk into the batting tunnels. So, So I mean, on our end, it's just a matter of keeping the players involved as far as autograph sessions and photo stuff. I mean, that's the one thing that's a little tough. They're not kind of in that area like they used to be, but having their own area, they really do appreciate it. And it's also helpful for us if, God forbid there ever was a rehab, you don't have to walk through those tight concourses and things like that. We saw that with Marsh this year. I mean, it was pretty much full for 3 days in a row. So that'll definitely help us going forward. And the players that are there seem to love it. I mean, the Phillies were there on opening day and we thought they were joking about, us having nice facilities and they're like, no, our facility is 20 years old at this point. So, even though ours is bigger, yours is brand new and you have all the latest technology and amenities. So it's not going to be hopefully too hard to get anyone to come to Reading if they need to be on a rehab.
And I think
without giving away any secrets, did you overshoot the budget?
I don't know that. I mean, I know a bunch of categories did, but I think they're still trying to finalize some of the others. I mean, things like merchandise sales were absolutely through the roof.
You're welcome.
We can potentially at some point, I don't know if it's next year or when, might expand the store. I mean, it's to do as well as we did with the space that we have is pretty remarkable. So maybe expanding that store. But no, I mean, our group numbers and our corporate numbers and all those numbers did very, very well. So now the next thing is tough because you got to keep those numbers up. But
sure,
for the year that we had, I think it was pretty exceptional.
Very cool. Well, congratulations. I know you put in a lot of hours and a lot of, hard work. So thanks for giving us updates throughout the year. Sure. And to everybody who hasn't been to Baseball Town, you're missing out on a lot of good baseball. There's great hot dogs and hamburgers. They're the best.
Well, I want to talk to you real quick about that card that I sent you. You probably saw these Garbage Pail Kids cards But
Oh,
I noticed all the other teams for the most part, and I don't know, maybe you can answer this. All the other teams had a guy on the current team for the most part. The Phillies were the ones that had Crawford on there, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if there's some reason for that, but everyone else on that list looked to be a current player as far as I saw.
Yeah, I guess Topps, but those were Bowman, right? Weren't they Bowman cards? I believe.
I'm not
Wasn't
sure.
it Bowman Chrome?
No, I thought
Yeah,
they
I
were.
believe it was Bowman Chrome, but I'm sure Topps had something to do with it, and maybe that's a guy that they're looking to target, and
Yeah.
zero in on because. I mean, we all know his father was Carl Crawford, and the father-son connection. And
Yeah.
I think they're jumping the gun, and they're hoping that this kid is going to be something special. So,
Well, he looked good this year. I mean, he's very quiet. He keeps to himself. A lot of times you see him just hanging out before or after a game in the dugout. Just he kind of keeps to himself.
Very quiet.
He's very quiet. Doesn't brag. He just goes about his business, and that's it. That's what you want to see.
I wish our one of our guys that comes in the store and also comes to our shows, Scotty Black. He's big into all those cards. Matter of fact, he brought us some samples to the store because he's involved with buying and selling all that Cabbage Patch cards, and he's into it because he doesn't have a son. He collects with his daughter, and I think the two of them enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
It's nice. It's just something different,
Yeah.
People interested.
Will CCC be back next year in base? Of course I will be. Well, that's another dumb question, Mr. Reds. When is this guy going to get on our page? What are you talking about?
Does he even know us at all?
Yeah, did he forget who we are? Seriously. Come on now. What year will this be, Lauren? Year number 8?
No. 12.
I just randomly pulled that number.
2011, I believe, was our first year when we did the tickets.
Yeah.
I still have those, by the way. I have a pack of those in the back. I never threw them away.
Wow.
The big tickets.
You can use some of them. You can use some unused ticket nights in April and September.
Yeah, so we started in 11, so that'll make year 14 next season.
Wow.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. It's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy just going out and hanging out and having a couple of beers and a couple of hot dogs. And, so many people have kind of, if they weren't already making their way to Havertown, they are now. And it's done the business a world of good with our signings and our promotions and everything.
There's a lot of crossover.
Oh yeah, it's been good for us. It's been real good. I don't want to talk it up too much because I don't want the rep raising my prices, and I don't.
Yeah, it's been okay for business.
We've done okay. You know what I mean? If you keep the number the same, I'll come back.
Well, it's good to see a lot of people that you would see at the store before that I didn't recognize before at the games.
Right.
At the games too, there's a lot. I can't think of every name offhand, but there's been a lot of people who I have seen at the store that are now coming to the game. It's good to see.
Good. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good for us. I mean, you guys obviously are going to continue to, get sponsorships, but don't sell my spot yet. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Send me the contract. All right. All right.
Our fantasy football leader there, Mike McCullough, said it was Topps cards. Was what the Crawford was.
Is that what it was, Topps?
That's what he's saying.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mike.
He's on the board since he's the leader. He wants to hear his name once in a while because you never know when it's going to happen again.
Hey,
he gets back up on.
There's nothing like having your name announced, good or bad, right, Reds? All right. Let's keep this party going. There's a big event going on October the 12th out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
correct?
Yes.
You can take it from here.
So we have our annual art auction coming up. If you guys have been part of the show, following the show for a while, you hear me talk about this every year. So our annual art auction is happening Saturday, October 12th. It is in Lancaster this year. So if you're not aware, Humane Pennsylvania runs a shelter in Reading and in Lancaster. So we've been doing a lot of renovations at our Lancaster facility this year. So kind of like last year when we hosted it at our Reading facility to show off those renovations. We're doing the same thing this year in Lancaster. It is specifically a 1977 punk rock revolution theme this year. So think like the Clash and things like that. Very like CBGB. Yes. Yep. Out of New York.
Yes.
Is that where that was? Yes. New York.
Take it everywhere I go.
So we are doing, it's very like DIY, that like sort of grungy punk rock feel to it. So it's definitely testing my team and I and our limits on what we can do, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We still have a handful of tickets left. We do cap it at a certain amount just so that people are comfortable in the tent that we have. So last time I checked, I think we have maybe like 30 tickets left. So if anyone's interested, it's either $50 for a general admission ticket or $75 for a VIP. But first, we have a preview party, which is going to happen next Friday night. That's going to be in Reading. So that's September 27th. That takes place at Canal Street Pub, which anybody who is familiar with Reading, Canal Street Pub closed 2 years ago, about.
Yeah, about that.
And we worked with the owner, who still actually operates a catering business out of the kitchen, to reopen it for one night only for this preview party. So it's like a historic sort of legendary place that people would go on like Friday and Saturday nights. So there's a couple people that are really, really excited for it to be back at Canal Street, but then just average folks that live here in Reading just know that place very well. So we're excited to bring that back there. So you can actually go to both events, the preview party and the auction, for $75. Or we are also selling just preview party tickets for $30. And any event, either one, gets you open bar and food
Nice.
as well. And then obviously we auction off a bunch of artwork. We auction off a bunch of experiences and just different like things to do. So it's a lot of fun, even though it's an art auction. It's not obviously all artwork. So it's become one of our like staple events every year, and it's very, very unique. So we're looking forward to it. You can go to our website, humanepa.org, to learn more about it. There's an event on Facebook. So yeah, if you're interested, we will also have an online auction. So if you're not able to make it out, I'll be sure to share that link out if you're interested in bidding on anything. But it should be a good time.
Yeah, make sure you get that information up and we can spread it around and share it all across our pages. I know John's got a million of them with his sports people, and
Yeah.
I know the Lancaster area is very popular, with the outlets out there, and the Rawlings store is out there. So make a day of it. Go to get out to Lancaster for the day, and then what's the I should know the time of the event on that.
The doors open at 5:30, and we are actually right down the street from those outlets that you're talking about, right down the street from Dutch Wonderland. So Lincoln Highway in Lancaster is a really busy road. It's probably equivalent to like a Baltimore Pike type of roads, Westchester Pike type road, where there's a lot going on.
Good.
So we are right down the street from those outlets and right down the street from Dutch Wonderland.
Awesome. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and I'm sure you guys are going to rock it. You know what I mean, and put up some record numbers. So if there's anything we can do, just say the word. So
Sounds good. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep this going, because the night's getting away from us, and I know Johnny's. Before we, I want to change things up a little different, because I feel like that with John's rant that we kind of take some of the thunder away by talking before about the subject.
Yep.
So I think if you guys are all in agreement, I think we should hear John's rant, and then we can roll into, because I'm all 99.9% sure what the rant's going to be about.
You heard half of it earlier this morning.
Well, lucky me. Lucky me. So,
well, I had to get up. I was up at 4:00 in the morning, in the middle of the night, and I couldn't get back to sleep. And the whole time when I was like dozing, trying to get back to sleep, I had the whole rant going on in my head. Planning this all out. So
no wonder she locks you out of the house.
Oh yeah. It was.
I don't know.
Johnny's back. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Let it rip.
All right. Well, it's obviously it's about the Eagles, since we haven't talked about the Eagles yet. Today, Carl's been delaying this moment here as long as he could.
You got all the time in the world.
But
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
That's just a rant.
That's just a rant. Well, and then we'll be talking about it afterwards. Not like just like we did with the Phillies. We talked bad about them a little bit. This defense has got to be fixed. I'm sorry. It's horrible. We're not going to be able to do much with this defense going forward. And having guys, Vaughn didn't have a good game yet. He had a great game week 1. Got exposed this week. Nakobe Dean's got exposed in the passing game. You got no pass rush. I mean, there's nothing coming from the pass rush. If Brandon Graham's the best guy coming off of the with his wheelchair, getting around the edge, bringing the pressure. Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, but I mean, he's the oldest guy on the team, and
he got as many gray hairs as me.
Oh yeah, did you see that beard? It's getting gray there.
He's going to be primed for Santa Claus. Come
Exactly.
December.
Bryce Huff is. Now we don't understand why he's wearing the number 0, because he has 0 stats. The guy's played 2 games. Has as many stats as you and me, Carl. And the only difference is he's got $2.1 million in his bank account because of it. We don't. It's we paid him all the money to go out there to let Hassan Reddick go, and he can't put any pressure on him. And what happened to the Georgia defense? You got Nakobe Dean, we already mentioned earlier, wasn't doing anything. Jordan Davis has been a bust since he's been here. He's over his rookie. I see you guys looking at the clock, and it's getting close, I'm guessing. But his rookie season's over with right now, and he's going into his 3rd year, and he's not getting any better. Jalen Carter, the same thing, and he's getting a little bit of an attitude. Jalen Carter he got punished for missing a team event, didn't show up for it, or showed up late to it, and had to be punished by not starting the game this week. Things have got to be taken care of, and I would be careful to watch and see that the next 2 games aren't losses as well, heading into the bye. With the way this defense is playing. So,
all right,
yeah. It's not good.
It wasn't pretty. I thought we were going to escape with a win Monday night. I thought that they could pull off that first down and run out the clock, and it just wasn't there. It brought back some bad memories. Is what it brought back.
Well, right. That's what both of these games were a mirror of last year. The Green Bay Packers game. Was like the first half of the year. You won games. It was ugly. You didn't, and you ended up with the win. So you kind of gloss over it. Last night, Monday night was the last 7 games of the year where you found ways to lose the game instead of winning the game. We're 2-9 or 2-7 in our last 9 games. So we got to start looking in the mirror and realizing that this team's not what we thought it was.
Well, hold your thought there for a minute, John, because I just want to bring Lauren in because she usually doesn't get too crazy, but she was a little crazy after Monday night's game. What were you feeling, Lauren? What were you feeling?
I was a little crazy after Monday night's game.
You weren't happy. You know what I mean? We talked Monday. You know what I mean? And you kind of like, what the hell happened there? And
yeah, I mean, so football is the one sport to me where you don't have a lot of time. So much like baseball, when I tell you guys to calm down and relax and they'll get out of their slump, football doesn't really give you that same grace. You don't have a ton of time to figure it out, so to speak. To be honest with you, if they had won Monday night, the conversation may have been a little bit different, but when you looked at it, they scored 21 points, whatever it was. This team and these players, they should be dominating on both sides of the ball, not letting the Atlanta Falcons even stay in a game, let alone manage to squeak out a win. So that, and do not make me stay up late on a work night.
Right.
Do not make me tired all day the next day at work for that. It's bullshit. So yeah, this isn't one of those situations where I am going to be the calm one in this group and tell everybody to relax, because I think on paper we're supposed to be so much better than we are. And I truly feel like that starts with the coach.
Well, everyone's getting mad at Barkley at the end. First of all, I don't know that you throw him a pass there in the first place. Let the guy run. Let him run a little bit might help. And two, I felt horrible for him afterwards because he's got to tell him I apologize. He shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it should have never happened. He's supposed to run the ball. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. Make a hole for him. Like, I had not one opportunity to find a hole and make any moves. I mean, it was just from the top to the bottom, you can kind of see the writing on the wall that if they won, they were barely going to win. And if they didn't win, which they did, you're going to have troubles going forward. I mean, who are they playing? The Saints next week? Who are they playing next week?
Yeah, Saints.
They've scored like 5,000 points in the last two games. How are the Eagles going to stop them? They're not. So there's a loss. So, like, what is the plan?
And then they go, and right after that, they go play Tampa Bay, who they've struggled against. And
they said Baker Mayfield's like throwing his arm. I mean, he's crushing it. So,
right.
What is the plan to fix that? Because I don't know that that's easily fixed. It doesn't seem like one issue.
No, I mean, there's tons of stuff going on, and so if I do have any calmness in me regarding this, it's just that they haven't quite all gelled yet. You've lost so many guys. You lost Jason Kelce, so you've got a brand new center, and that's the core of your offense. Right. You know what I mean? I think we're realizing now how much that position plays into a well-run offense. You lost Fletcher Cox. I mean, there is just so much going on that I just don't know that the team has really molded together just yet. And I think, going back to the preseason stuff, they refuse to play these starters because they don't want them to get hurt. And then we have to watch for the first 2-3 weeks of the season, these garbage games, because the guys haven't gotten out there and played in any type of real competitive game with each other until the first game of the season. And I honestly didn't watch very much of the Green Bay game in Brazil because there was a Titans game that night, and I wasn't able to watch a lot. But from what I heard it was messy. It was chaotic. It was messy. It looked unorganized and like we barely won, so to speak. And I felt like that's what we saw Monday night too. I mean, I don't see Jalen Hurts putting this team on his back. I don't see anything really happening. And this will be year 3 of this.
Preach.
I know Jalen Hurts was injured a little bit and he was having trouble running last year. But even these runs that he did the other day, maybe he did them just because they couldn't get much movement for Saquon to get through. But he doesn't look as natural as he did. And when he goes out there, I quite frankly, I'm worried that he's going to get hurt by doing some of the stuff. So I don't know that it's an easy fix. They get no pressure whatsoever. I mean, not to get into it, but that quarterback they made look like Joe Theismann out there. He can't move. I mean, the guy can't move. You got to put pressure on him. How do you not put any pressure on him the entire game? I mean, there's just a lot of issues. Not granted, it's week 2, so you can start fixing some of this stuff. But going into this game next week,
but you got to fix it like fast.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying the next week will be a gigantic test for them because that team is going to come firing on all cylinders.
And by next week, it's Wednesday night. You're talking about Sunday.
Yeah, a couple days.
Right.
I mean, let's stop and see, what happened around the NFL on Sunday. I mean, there were a lot of upsets, and I mean, this happens, and I'm gonna be the the one in the room that sides with the Eagles, and we're gonna push through this because you've paid these guys a lot of money. John, how much did they pay? 0. I mean, what's he getting paid?
51 plus a lot of zeros.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got to step up and earn his money. But the biggest problem that I have, you're not going to replace a Jason Kelce. You're not going to replace a Fletcher Cox. You're not going to replace these guys. And they were the 2 biggest leaders on this team. And you have nobody to replace them. When you had Jason under center, if anybody knows anything about football, he was recognizing defenses and calling out signals and doing a lot of the stuff to keep his boys on the line in check with where the game was going.
Right.
And Fletcher Cox was just a complete dominant. I mean, he probably had another year or 2 left in him, but, so be it. We lost him. Happy retirement. But, you're expecting these, second-year players to dominate, and I just don't think it's there in today's NFL world. You see the size of those offensive linemen on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
They're so big, and we just got to figure out a way to stop them.
But
like Sean said, we should be a machine with or without A.J. Brown. We should be a machine on offense. I don't know. That play calling at the end of the game was absolutely hideous.
But they didn't look crisp even in last year. The games that they won last year just looked like the game. If they won on Monday, that looked like exactly like all the games they won last year. They barely won. When the hell are they going to start scoring some points and lighting teams up by 3 touchdowns?
That's why you got 2 new coordinators, right? That's why they got fired, and you brought in new experienced coordinators. You know what I mean? I still personally, I don't think Jalen's on board with the new coordinator yet because they fired his boy. That was his personal boy. You know what I mean? And they got rid of him. And I don't think he's caught up with where things should be. You listen to his press conferences, they put you to sleep. He shows no energy. No. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. I don't understand. He got his big fat contract as well. Last time I checked, I think it was $258 million that he got. You know what I mean? So when do you start playing? When do you start the season? How many games?
We're going to be the calm one.
Well, listen.
That was me being calm.
Next week's is a big test. I mean, if you can squeak out that game by how many points the Saints are making, okay, that's good. But you gotta stay competitive in that game this week because they're
averaging 90 some points a game, and the rest of the league's in the 60s. John.
Well, yeah. Well, they were averaging 45.5 because they scored 91 points the first 2
games, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what they'll do to this defense if they don't wake up.
Yeah, well, you know what, and the way football is, and this is going to sound stupid because I'm saying it, but the Eagles will probably end up winning this game like 17, 24-17 or something like that. That they'll shut them down or something. Just the way football goes. It's stupid, but and if they do that, it doesn't mean that everything's all right in the world because. As we were talking earlier, there's so many bad teams in football right now. I mean, it's and plus with all the injuries too, But yeah, I just think I think that the Saints, like I said, I kind of have it chalked up as 2 losses. They're heading into the bye 1-3.
Man, I got to see 2-2 before the bye week, man.
Right. Well, it's tough. With AJ Brown, he's probably going to be out until after the bye. Himself, he's kind of let it out. Everybody else is trying to back pedal from what he said about it, but most
When
likely
did that injury occur?
it just tightened up on him during practice.
Yeah.
During the week, it might have been in the game. That happened in Brazil, but over the week when he got tightened up on him.
Gotcha.
You see these guys walking in the locker room. You look at like Covey. I know he's not supposed to be in there in the first place, but that guy, he looks like he's 5'3".
About that.
He looks like he's 5'3". Like I think I can maybe catch a pass against them. You know what I mean? It's just you're not going to win like that. You got to figure that out. You're not going to win with him in there. No disrespect to him or his family, but you're not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? AJ Brown's out. Where's this all-world tight end that we got? Dallas Goedert. He was invisible. It's like
I didn't see him. I saw some Saltamachia or some guy.
Yeah,
Cal Cavecchia.
Oh,
he got more touches than him. It's just weird, and again, I think this comes back to Jalen Hurts not reading the middle of the field as much. He's throwing the ball in the middle of the field a little bit more with Kellen Moore in his offense, but he made that nice pass.
Not running. Jalen's not running like he used to.
Well, he saved their ass a few times in that game. You know what I mean? And that was good to see. But I guess my biggest question was Barkley was running the ball perfectly fine in the first half, and then they got away from him.
Yeah. Well,
they got away from him. And I'm like, wait a second. I thought we had this new brain trust offensive coordinator that things were going to be different.
Yeah. There was a reason why he left the Cowboys, and then the year after he leaves, the Cowboys had a better offensive, record, stats than him, and Dak took another level in his game, and the Chargers didn't have a great year last year. They had some injuries obviously too, but it's tough. This team is going to be in trouble. And that's why that was one of my fears coming into the season when he had only 3 games of the first 9 at home. You get out to this little rough patch here. It's tough to get out of it, especially having that 1-7 stretch down the last year. 1-5, finishing up the year last year after being 10-1. As fake as the 10-1 was, but it was a 10-1.
Well, we need as fans, okay? As fans, we need to keep our fingers crossed and a whole lot more crossed, and just hope that this defense can wake up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But going back to Lauren's point, what's with the coaching too? Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni, he looks like a wet noodle. He used to be so aggressive, and he would be so into the game. He had that guy that would follow him around to make sure he didn't run out on the field. Remember all that that was happening? Now he just seems like they forgot to wind up his battery, and he sort of just stands out there, and he's mad because they took away his playbook because the coordinators call the plays now, and he's just out there like a puppet. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't hear any of those funny metaphors about letting the grass grow and the flowers and all that. I don't hear any of that stuff anymore. He just seems like he's lost interest.
He's neutered. How he's got his privates up on his desk.
Okay.
The puppet strings, like you said, are gone. It's
he got neutered.
Yeah, and that's how he kind of acts.
It is.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because I'm not really looking for the old Nick Sirianni either, but I guess I prefer the old one versus the new one. The new one seems like he's there because he has to be.
Well, exactly. He's just taking the position. It's Howie up above, and he did have come out afterwards. Which I can't stand when Gardner Johnson made that big stop on fourth down. It was fourth down, and he made the stop. You know, Sirianni's chasing them down the sideline, strutting and stuff. I'm like, dude, stop. You know, stop with that. You're a head coach in the NFL. You know, if a coordinator is going to do that, that's one thing. But you're the head coach of the NFL, of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. Act like it. You know what I mean? Don't be a clown out there. And you know, it's one thing to do it behind the scenes, but not when you're out on the field like that. Because
Shawnee brings up a good point about Howie being on the sideline as well. I saw him towards the end of the game. Did anybody see him? Was he on the sideline the whole game?
Yeah, I didn't see him. I saw him, like you said, at the end, towards the end.
I saw him towards the end of the game, and I don't know, what did he go down too premature to celebrate, you know, the victory? And
probably, yeah.
That didn't work out very well, Howie.
Yeah.
Better be careful, or they're going to put you back in the corner.
Yeah, well, you know, and you know, let's not let Howie off the hook too, because you know we're on the Howie roller coaster right now. You know, it's you know, things look great. You know, as Eagles fans, in the off season, you know, he makes these moves, and it's like, oh, great, you know, we got this move. This place, Hurston's replaced, and now you get to the game, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is what we got now. You know, and like, you know,
yeah, but I don't blame him for that.
Well, no, but he brought Bryce Huff in here to let Hassan Reddick go, and you know that's a big move. You know,
John, what would it cost to bring Reddick back?
Well, it would cost Howie to eat his pride. You know what I mean?
We'll have to get neutered too.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, I mean, it's
got to be the first show that two men got neutered in 1 hour. So that's never happened.
No, but you know, it's just I don't know. It's just a.
So speaking about injury, did you guys see our boy Dumpy?
Yeah, at the tailgate.
His knee is so messed up.
I heard, I read. Did he tear his ACL?
He doesn't know yet. So the X-ray, because I follow him on Instagram, the X-ray didn't really show anything, but now he's got to go for an MRI because he can like barely put pressure on the knee.
Because it's swollen, right? Yeah.
Yeah, him and Kelsey did the old chest bump thing, and
it was just the way he fell. He just sort of fell backwards awkwardly and just kind of tweaked that knee. And
hey, you know, good.
What a great story, though.
What great story! And can we find out what Jason Kelsey's going to do in his next life? Because goddamn, I mean, is he having the time of his life or what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean he can do it. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
You know,
anything he touches turns to gold.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how many commercials they throw him in.
And now Mama Kelsey's is doing the first Christmas special on the Hallmark Channel, and it was
really?
Filmed,
I didn't see that.
Filmed here in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that last night.
Oh.
Yeah, they're passing it around, so good for them.
Oh yeah.
Lauren, is it layup time?
Sure, I can. Yeah, real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So if you weren't a fan of the Phillies, who is your next team?
Ooh.
Based on the team, the fan base, the city. If you weren't a Phillies fan, who's your next team?
Well, I know personally, and you guys probably, hear me say it a lot, like the Yankees are my American League team. What does that mean? I have no idea. I mean, I'm a huge Aaron Judge fan. I met him down in Clearwater. I've watched the growth of the kid, and I just love the fact that, all he does is hit home runs. I follow the Yankees. Do I care about their wins and losses? No.
Right. So you got to trade. You got to trade your Phillies fandom.
Yeah.
Take that energy to a whole nother team. Who would it be?
I'm sorry, but I got to pass on that one.
Wow.
I got to pass. I mean,
And
yeah. I mean, I honestly,
got an answer.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question because that's not something that I'm thinking about. But I mean, there's a lot of teams like your dad was saying with the Yankees, that you respect from afar. I mean, I respect the Braves, even though it's a rival of ours. But I respect the way that they go about their business. I mean, they've basically been division leaders, forever. They keep changing managers and whatever going through, and they still are right there at the top. So as an organization, I respect them. I hate them because they're in our division because of it.
But this is almost like you were born in a different city. So the hatred of the Braves doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Tony, if you weren't a Pirates fan?
I don't know that answer because you got to be into it. And it's hard when you're not into those teams right now to answer that question.
But is there any team, I guess, on face value, maybe that you see them play the Phillies or you see them play the Pirates that you're like, they seem like a fun bunch?
I mean, this isn't a direct answer, but, I like the underdogs, like Joe Stinger brought up the Cubs when they won their first World Series back then. Things of that nature, teams that sneak into the playoffs, like the Diamondbacks kicked our ass last year. That's a great underdog story, but they couldn't finish it because, they lost, in the World Series. But, when you bleed Phillies red and that's all, and this goes through the whole season, just think of the peaks and valleys, just from me alone, not
you had valleys.
Anybody else in my household, you know what I mean? Just me, going through what we went through this summer with the Phillies. Can they hold this together? And you guys would tell me to calm down, be patient. I mean, that's what Phillies baseball is all about. It was bred into me.
Right. Yeah.
I am interested the next time I see Sean. He was very quick to respond with the Red Sox, so I'm interested to hear the story behind that.
I'd probably pick the Orioles or something because it's very, very similar. Long time struggle. We got a lot of young kids that are trying hard.
I thought you would have went the A's.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad at the A's right now because they're leaving. But yeah, the Orioles, the A's.
It's not the players' fault.
Well, I wouldn't like the team because of it. But the Royals, all those teams, when the Royals won that year, it was so exciting because you haven't seen anything like that.
Right.
I'm just tired of these same friggin' teams that win every year. It's just
you say that you're consistent. You say that all the time, no matter what the sport is.
Yeah, I love to watch the team that had no one thought had a chance to win and they win. So when the Royals won, it was as close as the Pirates or somebody else because they deserved to win that year.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is we respect the other teams when they do what they're supposed to do.
Sure.
I like Bryce Harper's analogy, what he's been saying the last couple of nights. We haven't won anything. You know what I mean? We haven't won anything. We need to finish this off and bring a World Series championship to Philadelphia. And I mean, that's been his mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I guess that's what, everybody kind of gravitates towards, with Bryce and, loves him so much. And all of these guys, the way they've all, come together. And I mean, they talk about it so much, how close the clubhouse is. And, they have events together and go out to dinner and so much there is. But anyway, that's a great layup. That's a great layup. That
is stump. That's great.
That was a good one. That was really, really well thought out. Did you just come up with that 2 seconds ago?
No.
That was really good. How can you be so busy and still come up with a great question like that?
I'm just that talented.
There you go. There you go. Must take after your mother.
Is that what she just mumbled?
That's what she just mumbled.
That's what I thought.
There was no mumble at all, she said, damn it. All right. Great show. It's great having you two back. I love when the room is full.
Yep.
We will.
They missed us next week, they said.
Oh, sorry.
I said no, they didn't.
We did.
Sean,
Anthony didn't get to see it. We got to show Anthony the new.
yeah, here you go. Ready?
Wow.
No, don't sound excited.
I got about 3 hockey players I can name for you that I'm out.
Voted on and approved last week.
It was apparently voted on and approved when we weren't here. Imagine that.
Wow.
Sean's asking who my team would be, and this one's easy for me because I've sort of adopted the Pirates as my own. But so that would be mine. Although I do enjoy the Rays. I love the stadium. I love when we go there. So I feel like the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, could be if they bring back the Devil Rays. I like that name better though.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I don't think that's happening in today's world.
No, it's definitely not. But the Pirates, that's an easy one for me to take on.
You've probably been to more Pirates games this year than Phillies games.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
He's gonna be making up for it though.
Yeah.
I will say I've never been to a Pirates game in October.
Oh. Oh shit. Somebody's sleeping.
They got
on
an
the
expiration date. They just play, April to September. That's all.
He was a really excited fan in April.
Oh, he was. I remember that.
One of these days.
He was really excited.
He even got into May though. He was excited even in May.
Yeah.
I think even trickled might have been June a little too, but definitely not July.
Yeah.
Oh, they kind of ruined it.
The dog days of July. Got him.
All right. The shots have been fired. The show has come to an end. Hey, real quick, we'll be together next week, but we'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings in Glen Mills. Our guest is this is a guy that Tony, our friend Tony, has hooked us up with. Howie Bedell. He's
Baseball lifer.
He's got a baseball. He's got a lot of baseball stories. I'm sure he's been around the globe and back. So he's a Pottstown native. He's won 3 World Series championships with 3 different teams, including our Phillies. And here's your homework assignment for this week, Mr. Pignetti.
All right.
I am pretty sure that he may have been the manager of the Spartansburg Phillies when Roberto was there. No, Junior.
Oh.
How did you know he was talking to you when you
said my name?
Oh, he did? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I said Mr. Pignetti.
Oh.
I thought you said Big Daddy.
That's what I thought he said too. And I was like, how did you know he was talking?
Big Daddy.
That's what I thought you said. That's exactly what I thought. I thought you said Mr. Big Daddy. So that's why I
have
was
homework for you,
No,
big. You know,
not even
he goes, yes. And it's like, how did you know that? That's hysterical.
I did not hear that at all.
John,
All right. In any event,
That's what I
Howie
heard.
Bedell, This Fan's View, Buffalo Wild Wings next Wednesday night. So come on out. Great food, great beverages, great sports talk, great raffle prizes. If you've never been, you got to come out and experience it. You'll become a regular for sure.
Get to see Big Daddy there as well.
Who's Big Daddy?
It's Anthony from now on.
It's his new nickname.
that was
All
so
right.
That's his new nickname.
There you go. All right, guys.
So
I gotta go eat dinner.
I
Yeah,
hope
okay.
the rest of your night was as good as this hour and
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yep, and
Yes.
everybody, Shawnee thought he was getting away from my emails every week, but I think we got a lot of emails coming this week to people with I think the count's up to about 417 players that are on the injured list for football this year. So we got a lot of corrections.
Got to
do with-
replace them.
a lot of replacements that need to be made
right.
this week. So look forward to those emails and messages tomorrow, so we can
All right.
get everybody's lineups good to go.
All right. Have a great rest of your hump day, and we'll see everyone soon.
Yep. Hopefully we'll be
Well.
celebrating playoff spot tomorrow.
There you go.
All right.
Go Phils.
Go Phils.